Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. How you doing today? Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, with my good friend, the lumberjack landlord. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing awesome. Still trying to catch my breath from that last soapbox rant in the last one, but doing well. Thank you for
Yeah, that
asking.
second one was you were a little passionate, and you should be, right? You were
Yeah,
kind of
a
speaking
little bit.
your truth. So
Yeah.
I
Yep.
appreciated all of that. Well, something
Yeah.
that you brought up with the Three Amigos last Thursday, and if you don't know what that is, that's where Matt, I, and Dion get together on Thursdays at 12:30 Pacific. All videos posted Thursdays afternoon. You talked about the handout administration.
Mhm.
And I chuckled the first time I heard that. I'm like, ooh, that's interesting. But the more you think about it, it's kind of at least what the first year has been about, right? We're gonna
Yeah.
we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do that, and we're
Mhm.
gonna do this. What I want to talk about here is something that was a big talk track 9 months ago. It's kind of died down a little bit, but I think it's about to rear its ugly head as we talk about the 3.5 trillion. And that are programs, down payment assistance, credits of some kind for first-time homebuyers.
Mhm.
I believe I've heard things ranging between $15,000 and $25,000. I
Mhm.
want to talk about that, but then I want to talk about being investors and what that could potentially perpetuate going forward. So, what do you think? First-time homebuyer programs would be one of those giveaways you talk about?
Yeah, I hate it. Yeah,
Yes.
it's stupid. I mean, at the end of the day, if it, the reason, so again, we look at history. We look at your 50-year chart. We look at, generally speaking, history. In 08, 09, when the world was falling apart, they had a program. It was $7,500 that you were able to
Yeah.
basically qualify for, right?
Yep.
Good idea when you have 3.7 million homes and you have 2 to 3 million homes a year in foreclosure that are then hitting the market. Good idea, because
Yeah.
there's far more supply than there is demand.
Yeah. You were literally trying to stop a falling knife.
Yeah. For those that say that, Washington can't do math, they did math. It
Yeah.
worked. It was,
Oh, it did.
they
Absolutely.
did math. It was a good idea.
I agree.
However, there were other things that they did, like basically blocking investors from buying more.
Yeah, that was really
Stupid.
dumb.
That was stupid, because then there was a bunch of stuff sitting there like, well, we'll eventually have enough demand to buy those up and suck those houses up. Took 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, on that front, it's really odd in my market, right? The top to bottom was almost 80% for like the affordable housing stuff that
Yeah,
I sold at the top and bought at the bottom.
that's
The reason I
crazy,
had to
Mike.
buy them at the bottom at that is because that's what that was the cash value. Trust me, I would have paid double everything I
If you can get a
paid
loan.
to get an 80% loan.
That's right.
I would have easily doubled, but I
But
didn't. I had to do cash.
but Mike, that's the thing, right? We always talk about payment and we always talk about lending standards. That's what makes a market.
Yes.
That's what makes a market. If tomorrow rates were 10, we'd see a slowdown.
Yes.
If tomorrow you couldn't get a mortgage for anything more than 60% of the value of the home, guess what? That disqualifies like 70% of the buyers right away.
Gone. Oh,
at least
90%.
It's well, so it was 70. So I think it was something like 74% or 74% of, or excuse me, 26% of buyers put down more than 25% to buy a home last year.
All right.
So, but it's kind of playing in those numbers though.
Right.
But that's what we're really talking about, is that's why it's payment based. That's why it's program based. But that's why to do this now, I didn't see the last national number, Mike. I apologize. I think we're at like 1.4 or 1.5 for inventory.
Yeah, 1.32 came out yesterday.
Okay, so that number really has not moved. That's been flat for the last almost 2 months.
Well,
right?
it's all that. Well, so again, I unfortunately track this every month. So
yeah,
we bottomed out at 1 million in December.
Yep, correct. Yeah.
So now we're up to 1.32, which is about a 6% move every month.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's
so to see that, right? So 6% of houses coming on a market up, 6% up.
Yes.
Right. And we have to do that for 2 more years.
Exactly.
Before we even get to what is a 6-month healthy market. So all these people about this crazy crash, the only way crazy crashes happen are if unemployment goes to over 20% and then it's sustained.
Yeah.
And they change lending standards.
Yes.
Where all of a sudden it's not 3.5% down or even 10% or even 20%. Then all of a sudden it's 30 or 40% down like it is in Korea.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're talking, right? So the last thing that you do is try and stimulate something that's already short supply. Why would you be like, hey, so I only have 3 of these left on the shelves. I'm going to cut the price in half.
Yeah.
Like, no one does that. No one
Well,
does that. Except for the US government.
I think we're about to.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah, but to carry this forward, right? That 1.32, again, because I'm a nerd, I'm a data geek.
Yeah.
It's worse because a lot of that inventory is above the median. A lot of the increase are above the median, where we are still struggling is below the median. And median is the median for your market, right?
Yep.
Right. Where I live, the median's like 1.2, right? Where I invest, it's 356, right? So you get the feeling what medians can be a big difference.
Sure.
But why I bring this up is because any program isn't going to play with the above the median.
No.
We're going to add, I think we'll double, maybe 2.5 times demand like that. If we just start handing people 15 grand.
Yes, it would be very bad. Because what it does is, and it's the same thing that happened when there were easy programs and easy money, the ninja loans, no income, no job, no problem. It's the same. It's what happens when you try and manipulate a market.
Yeah. I want to do the math. What is 15 grand divided by 3.5%?
It basically is a $300,000 house.
428 grand.
Sorry. Yeah.
400. Yeah. So here's a prediction, folks. Do you invest in Michigan or Ohio, where maybe your median's 144? Get ready for the price to double.
Right. It literally could.
Yeah. I mean, it won't double overnight, but I mean, this is the math, right? Because again, you're going to walk up to say you, and you. So this is what I think will happen. You'll have to prove that you could make the payment. So I think the lending, I think, will be better than the ninja loans. I don't see us going back to fog a mirror, get 7 loans.
Agreed.
But what I see is, wow, you're living really close to the edge.
Yep.
You can't save even 3.5% down, which on a 100K house is $3,500.
Yep.
Instead, the government's going to say, hey, you qualify as a first-time home buyer. Here's up to 15 grand.
Right.
Dude, that's going to just create so much demand in these markets that are.
But where does it create the demand, Mike?
Well, below the median, the bottom,
where it's already hard. It's already hard there, and so it's like, honestly, it's completely counterintuitive. It's just completely dumb. Because it creates more demand in a market that's already near impossible. Yeah. And, so the affordability index, our number came out for July.
Yeah.
And we went from 101 to 104.
Oh.
So we're still basically a 4.
Yeah, exactly. On my number, yeah.
And the crazy thing is that if something's going on under 300K, it's still gone.
Yeah, I mean, again, this kind of program, and again, it's not written, it's not in law, so it could have lots of varying.
Needs a lot of movement. Yeah.
I mean, for all I know, it could be, hey, based on median price, you get 5 grand in this market and 8 grand in that market, 12 grand over here. Sure. So who knows? But if it's just 15 grand to anybody, you could look at any affordable market today, call any market under 200 grand, and you literally could have a 50% price appreciation in 12 months because everybody will be feeding in it's not a big ocean. It's a freaking puddle.
Right.
It's a puddle. And you think that puddle is dry now? Oh my Lord.
Well, that's the thing is, if you look at the market too, right, Mike, of that 1.3 million homes or whatever, look at the values of those homes and where people are putting them. That's the problem. I went back and I looked, and in my market that I watch, single family homes, there were, because we're in a much more balanced area, in my market in 2019, 3 homes, 3 over $1 million were sold. 3.
Okay.
In 2020, it was 5. So far in 2021, it's 8.
Oh, geez.
And what I'm seeing is the line is going like this because every house isn't better. It's just more expensive because of rate and because of lack of inventory. But now a lot of those folks have moved, but you still have that entry-level home, sub 300K. That's where housing formation is.
Yeah.
And I just want to be, that creates an even bigger problem.
I want to go on record right now. If the handout administration creates a program like this and it's not really well structured, This will create a housing boom like never before. It will be the start of the next bubble. Because essentially what caused the last bubble, in my opinion, is we gave yes answers to people that deserve no answers. We did that long enough and gave them horrible debt structures where it eventually had to explode.
Right.
If
Correct.
we go on it, and again, for all the people calling a crash, let's hear me out for a minute. We start doing this 2022. The first year, it'll probably be okay. Because what will happen is it will build on itself. And I'm going to do exactly what I did in my book is I'm going to watch the affordability in my market, which today is a 42. It will go to a 38, a 34, a 31, a 26, a 24, a 22, and I will sell.
Yes.
I'll sell freaking everything.
Yes.
And I'll just wait because again, when you give people yes answers that no deserve no, they will limp along for a while and then a recession will happen or a big expense or something else. And then the system takes over.
That's right. What Mike just laid out right there is exactly what makes him a great businessman. This is how great businessmen build businesses. They pivot. They recognize that when the rules of the game change, you pivot. Yeah. That's why we no longer buy buggy whips.
Yeah, exactly.
Because technology advanced, people made changes, and the guy's like, you don't understand. I still make the best buggy whip in the business. It doesn't matter. People are driving cars. Exactly. So it's the same thing when it comes to houses, right? New builders. Hey, Mike, how many builders out there are building affordable houses?
In my market, zero.
Yeah. In my market, zero. There's literally special financial awards coming from these towns saying build worker class housing. And even worker class housing is still crazy expensive. So it's just one of those things where people just have to watch it. People have to watch the market. But this is what you get in doing the work is every single day you start to see what things are doing and what things are trending. Yeah. But if some program like this becomes available, it's again, the government largely screws savers, right? With interest rates being what they are. If you did the right thing, lived your life in balance, saved your money, you are getting porked right now. Yeah. Same thing happens for those people who saved their money for a down payment, got their house in order, got their credit in order. Everything is flawless. Listen, it's going to affect you the most because you're going to overnight have 100% or 200% more competition. The only thing that you can control is the personal finance side and the credit score and things like that, because the down payment, that's going to now be equal.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to now be equal. And that is the biggest differentiator for people that are buying versus not buying is the people that are buying have a down payment and generally speaking now have better debt to income.
Yeah.
But that's the thing I'd be concerned about.
Yeah. So again, I just want to play this out, right? Because this bubble once started will feed on itself and grow. But let's put timing. People talk about crashes like they happen overnight. That's just so funny. Yeah. What will happen is the bubble will start to be blown in 2022.
Yep.
It will certainly run through the end of this administration. And it will likely be the next administration, either a continuation or the next one, whatever happens. But it will not, I guess it will not be this presidential term. It just won't. That's not how bubbles work. It will inflate. It will feel good the first year. Right. It'll probably even feel good the second year.
Yep.
And then by the third year, people are going to go, why the hell are Cleveland houses $350,000 when they used to be 120? I'm going to go because you gave everybody 20 grand to start, you idiots.
Exactly. I mean, and Mike, the real important part of that as well is not only do you see all these crazy inflationary prices and then how long it takes to then work
and then the rent for the people that, oh my God.
That's exactly where I was going to go, which was if a house costs $350, now how much is the rent? So I think that where people miss it is that they're constantly looking at housing statistics to determine what's going to happen in the housing market. That's not how it works. Yeah. The housing statistics that you're reading are based on the other things that are occurring that are then impacting the housing market.
Yeah.
Jobs is what impacts the housing market. That's the first and foremost, because you can't buy a house if you don't have a job.
Exactly.
Unless, of course, the handout administration changes that now too.
Yeah. Who knows?
Right. You're like, oh, that's okay. You don't have a job. No. Wait, no, we have a house you can now buy. It's a special house.
It's not buy, just live in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. My bad. Yeah. Not buy. But that's the concern that I have as this unfolds is that, again, intervention on that level penalizes the people that were doing the work, making the sacrifice and able to do it on their own, and removing, the thing that I'm most cognizant of being a business owner and being a dad is removing my child's struggle.
Yeah, it's where you learn, right?
That's where you learn. That's also where you get your intestinal fortitude. That's where you learn how to push through things. That's where you learn how to say, damn it, okay, I got it wrong. And then learn how to do it again and again and again until you get it right. If I'm constantly removing my kids' struggle, holy cow, by 18, they're going to be useless. They're not going to know how to do anything.
Yeah, they won't know how to fail, right?
Yeah, you got to know how to fail. Man, I failed a ton. I'm a 9th grade dropout. Like,
I think that's the definition, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's it. I'm pretty sure that's it. Yeah, like it's horrible. It was horrible, but I learned a lot from it. And as you build your business, I was doing work on a house on this Saturday when I had somewhere else that I wanted to be.
Yeah.
That's life. So yeah, I just encourage people because I think that they need to believe in themselves. And like I always say, the most important investment you're going to make is in yourself.
Yeah. So folks, if I just want it on record here, if this administration starts giving out 15, 20, 25 grand as down payment, you have not seen housing appreciation yet.
And you have not seen anything yet.
And it will be that affordable markets will go banana and people will go, what happened? I'm like,
and so Mike, when the affordable market, which is that typically that's the higher end renter that's now moving into that affordable market.
True.
What does that then mean for renters that are already in a place that's more expensive than a mortgage?
You think people are rent constrained now?
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah. My best Kool-Aid man.
This could be a problem.
It will. I mean, and the problem is that literally we're seeing it now. Housing can't keep up with the dollars. They're now in my market. They are over 20% off.
God,
they're over 20% off.
Yeah, and he's talking about the Housing Authority or Section 8 program. This year, again, I saw a note. It came from Zillow, so probably thinly sourced. But rents from like a new tenant, right? So we're not talking about rent increases, legacy tenant, a new one, right? Tenant leaves, tenant moves in, 17% increase.
Yeah.
I've been doing this 20 years. I've never seen that.
Ever, Mike, I just did one literally yesterday. I had a tenant that basically trashed a unit, left a bunch of crap behind, disgusting, dirty, the whole 9 yards. I told the guy, I said, listen, I just showed up. It's disgusting, but I'll show it to you if you want. He literally said, he goes, and this was a unit that used to rent for $900, $1,100, and he's going to clean it all up and do all the touch-up work himself. He's like, I want to just put myself ahead of on your top of your list. I was like, so you'll take it literally as is. Pay more than 20% of an increase over what we were charging for rent. You're going to clean everything. Yeah, sounds, let me just get your Credit Karma. Sure, sounds good. Yeah, just do Credit Karma right now. And I think we'll be okay. Mike, I've never heard of that before. Like I get tenants that are like, this is going to be immaculate before I move in. Right.
Yeah.
That was our world. And he's actually doing all the work, doing all the cleanup. Like, now here's the thing that speaks two things to me. One, market's crazy.
Market's nuts.
Two is he's clearly a guy I want to rent to.
Yeah,
he's not
going to make it happen.
He's going to get it done. He's going to be a great tenant. I can tell already.
It's crazy. Well, do me a favor. How can people follow you, be part of your world?
Lumberjacklandlord.com, Lumberjack Landlord on YouTube. And the next live stream will probably be the next week or two, but it will not be 3 hours.
Yeah. I don't know how you do that. My voice would go bananas.
I was fried. My head hurt.
Very cool. Well, that's a great job. Nice doing it. I got feedback. People loved it. So nice work.
Cool. Thanks, Mike. It was a blast. A lot of fun.
All right. Take care.
Thanks, Mike.
Mm-hmm.